Hello everyone and welcome back to another round of Neo Racing League Season 5. We are here in Shanghai for the Chinese Grand Prix and a sprint race. The RBs have a 1-2 position on the grid, and at the moment it is not looking likely that that any of the drivers who are down the order, including Marchmaster, who hasn't set a time, is going to make any sort of positions outside of the two Haas drivers who have currently not set a time. And that is very much the crucial factor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights for the Chinese sprint race. And it's lights out and away we go. Both the RBs getting away fairly well. The Sauber and the McLaren behind not able to do too much. But Alfred and Gary Gator are going to go side by side into turn 1. Meanwhile, switch back by Burl. Oh, Gary Gator. Can the McLaren get ahead in the new livery? There's the spinner of the mystery machine. That is further back. That is Shay Hydronics, who's down the order. Meanwhile, we're going to see Burl and Gary Gator continue to go side by side through turn 3 and 4. Quick right of turn 5 into turn 6. And the McLaren has got their way into the second place, potentially the lead. They're right up the inside of the V-Carb, and at the moment the McLaren is well on its way to potentially making it a double upset for the V-Carb team. And now the Speed Queen is down into 9th place. Meanwhile has got Formula Leon behind, who is getting attacked by ART Optic on the hard tyres. Those hards look to be working fairly well. However, there's a bit of contact there between the Alpine and the Haas. The Alpine is absolutely looking to be struggling at the moment, as the Haas of ART Optic has to seem to have the pace. They're both going to go very late as they possibly dare, without going to the back of the Red Bull. Bit of contact there, forcing Formula Leon wide. That might get looked at by the stewards. However, it could just be seen as a bit of a racing incident. However, we're going to go back now to the battle for P2. Gary Gator is going to have to do a bit of defending here, because here comes Bell diving up the inside. Lock up there from Gary. Tried to outbrake themselves. Missed the breaking point. Gets the cut back though. The lock up didn't too badly offend them. But we're going to see Gary have to do a bit more defending now, because Bell is going to be right up the chuff of the RB. But at the moment, the McLaren is going to try and have to defend against Shoot Fizzle. The Mercedes comes flying by for P3, potentially P2, as he goes up the inside, tries to make his nose clean, tries to make himself known on the back end of the V-Carb, as he's only 3.3 seconds back from our current race leader of Alfred. The V-Carb is going to have to do some defending of Gary Gator, because the Mercedes comes flying through. Shoot Fizzle up the inside at the hairpin and takes second place away from Gary. Shoot looks to be on a very different level of pace compared to the drivers that were potentially ahead of him, due to the very mix-up of the intermediate conditions that shocked half the grid partway through sprint qualifying. And with so many drivers involved in that, Shoot Fizzle looks to try and defend from Gary Gator. Gary dives out the inside, massive dive bomb, sells him the dummy. That is Shoot Fizzle down to third. Cut back there for Gary Gator. Gary loses the back end. Alex Carragher goes flying by for P3, and that has allowed the Haas to jump an extra position. Meanwhile, Alfred crosses the line and takes race victory in the sprint race at Shanghai, ahead of Shoot Fizzle. Alex Carragher gets the third in an excellent drive. Gary Gator down to 4th, Bell down to 5th. The Haas looks to make a mincemeat of that sort of statement. We go nearly 4 tenths up in the first 2 sectors. Now, more time needs to be gained though, as we go through the long right hander. 31.7 from Alfred, 1 second clear. Shoot Fizzle goes 32.3, 6 tenths off of Alfred by the end of the session. But can Alex Carragher make their way into a potential fight for pole position? Down towards the hairpin we go. At the moment, it's just 1.2 seconds back. Is there going to be enough time in the tank for the Haas driver as we exit the hairpin and down towards the final corner? If Formula Leon jumps to P3, where does Alex Carragher jump to? P2, 32.2, half a second off of Alfred, who looks to be almightily quick and unstoppable at this stage. But can Speed Queen do anything? No, Speed Queen doesn't even get into the 32s, and that is the Red Bull's day done. P8 behind Kevin Cow, their teammate, and that is not where you want to be starting as the championship leader. And I think that is really day done for everyone. ART Optic goes for P2, 32.0, excellent stuff from them, only 3 tenths off of the RB. Meanwhile, here comes Funny Way back up to the line. 33.1 puts himself P10, and that is qualifying over. Alfred takes pole position ahead of ART Optic, because we are going to go to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights for the Shanghai and Chinese Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. Alfred gets a decent enough start, but here comes ART Optic, who got the better start on the mediums, and down the inside goes the Haas driver. A bit of contact there has sent Alfred wide. That has sent the pole sitter right down the order, and that is not what the start wanted. And a bit of contact further back for Alfred. That sent our pole sitter from tumbling from first place to last place with a mixture of different areas of contact, and that is ultimately devastating for the RB. Meanwhile, battling up front, Alex Carragher, ART Optic will lead the way with Haas 1-2, Formula Leon in P3 ahead of Shoot Thistle, Kevin Cow, Burl and Gary Gator continuing their battles from the sprint race, and it's just defended against the championship leader, as at the moment March is doing a very good job, and Speed Queen is going to begin to get frustrated if it takes that much longer. Meanwhile, up the inside into turn 6 is the Red Bull going to manage to get ahead? No, not quite, because here comes Alfred as well, who's getting past Concert Solar. Contact there between Alfred and Concert Soda. Your cast really showed how almost that ended in tragedy for both of them. Side by side between Alfred and Concert Soda. Alfred trying to squeeze the Ferrari as much as they possibly can. They're going to continue to go side by side as we go through this section now. Soda getting a bit of a back end loss. That is allowed the VCOM to go through and up into P11, potentially looking to be out the points in the short term, because Alfred is right on the back as ART Optic is having to defend from Formula Leon, as Formula Leon up the inside into the hairpin. Can the Alpine make it work this time round, or will ART Optic manage to just about defend? They're going to go side by side into the final corner, but it could just about be enough for Formula Leon, who goes off the circuit to try and make the move stick, and that is going to have to again let ART Optic back through potentially. Contact between the two as Formula Leon now goes up the inside. He's probably had enough, and he tries to go for a move on Alex Carragher. These two are going to get feisty as well. These two are fighting for a championship as they go into turn 2 and turn 3 through turn 4 now. Here comes ART Optic. It's a 2v1 situation for the Baguette team, but we're going to go up towards turn 5 and into turn 6. Down the inside goes the Alpine. Not quite. Alex Carragher leaves just enough room to not to avoid contact, but that's allowed ART Optic around the outside to take back P2. Formula Leon not quite getting the move they wanted.
So is this going to give Formula Leon another opportunity to go around the outside? It's the door just got a little bit shut there, but he's going to go for the cutback. So he spun them. They've got contact, and both of them around. Where's Leon? Oh, Formula Leon has carried on, but has put Piero Optic down into 13th. That's surely going to get looked at by the steward.
Shout out to Cooper Steiner. As we now see Alfred going for a loop into P6, getting ahead of Burl. Had got past Speed Queen and Gary Gator, who've been who've dropped down position. Burl diving up the inside. Alfred, and they're going off. Oh, and this has not been a good day for Alfred, who's gone off the circuit. Now losing another position, dropping down to P10 behind Concert Soda. Speed Queen also getting through, and Gary Gator has moved up to P6, getting ahead of Burl. And this has not been a good day for the RB at the moment, so he has a bit of time. Meanwhile, Burl will have to do a bit of defending, because here comes Speed Queen, our championship leader. He's going to go around the outside of the McLaren. Burl is not going to make this an easy one, because the McLaren wants to get those points, wants to get the points, as many points as they can, but Speed Queen needs to get by for the championship. Bit of contact there on the entry, but nothing that will affect either driver. Meanwhile, Alfred is going around the outside of Constant Soda, went off the track a little bit there, but has backed off. Meanwhile, J Hydronics is now going to go for a move on the RB, and it drops Alfred out the points. Bit of a wide moment there for Burl. He's going to go around, going to lose position, protecting Constant Soda as the Ferrari tries to get by the McLaren, who does not look the most comfortable here, and Soda moves up to P8 right now. Burl is going to have to now try and do either a bit of an attack, a dive bomb up the inside. Soda going to try and do a switchback. Burl covers him up at the apex and just about keeps that position, but these three are going to continue fighting now. Turn 7, Soda up the inside, ballsy as ever, but they make the move potentially, but coming back is Burl. The McLaren trying to make continue his defence of P8, but there's nothing much he could do there, because the Ferrari just about gets by for this P8 position. Alfred having a massive oversteer moment and goes well off the circuit. What has happened to the RB that looks so comfortable in the sprint race, and now it's dropping out of DRS Soda is now going to have to defend from Hydronics and Burl as they go round turn 13. As they go down the DRS straight now. Soda without DRS, Hydronics, Burl, ART Optic, and Alfred. Actually, Alfred will not, but the three behind Soda will. Here comes Hydronics. Here comes Burl. 3 wide as we go into the hairpin. Potentially not quite. Hydronics outbreaks himself to go wide. There's a bit of contact there as we go off the circuit. Goes Hydronics, and he goes back down the order. Meanwhile, ART Optic goes by, and actually that has ended up with ART Optic and Conscious Soda in the pit lane, both potentially with damage. Continue a freeway 5 for 8. This race is not going to slow down, I don't think, because Hydronics is going to go down the inside, which will turn to the outside for turn 8, and that to the inside for turn 9. Bit of contact there with between Hydronics and Burl. They met in the middle as they cross lines. Burl loses position to Alfred in the process, drops down to P10. Alfred up to 9, Hydronics up to P8. Kevin Cow is doing a very good job, though, in terms of pace to be relatively close to the top 3 and stay ahead of Gary and Speed Queen. Meanwhile, battle between Shoot Fizzle and Alex Carragher around the outside. Goes to Mercedes. The Silver Arrow looks to take away P1, but they're going to continue fighting as we go to there. Been a bit more contact between the two. They're not exactly liking where the other one is going. Contact again on the exit as Shoot Fizzle looks to get DRS on Alex Carragher. Formula Leon will be right on the back of them. It could all change by the end of this race. It can happen now, though. Shoot Fizzle into the lead into turn 1. Alex Carragher looking to come back and switch back the Mercedes into turn 2, into turn 3. It gets slower and slower, but now we're going to pick up the pace into turn 4. Can Alex Carragher regain position, or will Shoot Fizzle keep the lead? He will keep the lead. When the pit stops matter, they're going to have a free chance to come out in clean air. Retirement for Burl. I'm not sure where, but that is caused a safety car.
But it's all about risk versus reward when it comes to these kind of races. And there goes Alex Carragher. He is absolutely caught Kevin Cal off guard. So are they going to be able to pull out the 1 second window even before the end of the first sector?
Now Shoot Fizzle is up to P10, make that P9. The Mercedes is going for another move into the chicane. Very rare you see a move into that, but the Mercedes makes it work almost. That's the as they make a bit of contact between March and Shoot on the apex. Shoot gets by. Meanwhile, we're on lap 27 on 28. Gary Gator is going to have to fight Shoot Fizzle. Shoot has got a puncture. Shoot has got a puncture, and that is a very unfortunate deal for the Mercedes, who has just had not been his day going on those hards, and that safety car came at the wrong time. Well, it's still all to play for, because here comes Speed Queen, because these two on the hard tyres are not going to have quite the issues of the medium runners right now. Speed Queen up the inside into the turn 1, into turn 2, and Speed Queen has that done easily. Alex Carragher 2.5 seconds to the good. Can they get to the end on their tyres? It is going to be down to that whether that puncture comes at this stage. We don't know. Speed Queen to the outside. Alfred defends, contact between the two. Speed Queen takes P2, but for how long? Alfred tries to defend back, and Alfred manages to just about defend it as we go into the final corner. Alex Carragher will take victory in round 4 of the season. Meanwhile, battles between the 3 behind for the podium. Speed Queen gets P2. Formula Leon by 1,000th of a second gets to P3. Alfred has to settle for 4th.
Alex Carragher took the victory in the 3rd consecutive win for Haas this season, ahead of Speed Queen in 2nd and Generic Leon in 3rd place. And Speed Queen doing well to be in the top 3 despite a poor sprint performance. And in the sprint, it'll be Alfred who took the victory in comprehensive fashion, winning by over 5 seconds ahead of Shoot Fizz in 2nd, Alex Carragher in 3rd, Gary Gator in 4th, and Burl in 5th place. And in the Grand Prix, it'll be Carragher who ended up winning 3.021 seconds ahead of Speed Queen, Generic Leon 2/10 back, and Alfred Vestergaard just 1,000th off of Generic Leon, with ART Optic, Kevin Cal, Funny Wave Band, Gary Gator, Marchmeister, and J Hydronics rounding out the top 10. And Speed Queen maintained that championship lead, but it came down significantly. Alex Carragher just the 6 points behind, and Generic Leon 11 points off of Speed Queen, with Alfred Vestergaard finding his way into the top 10, as with Funny Wave Band and looking into the second half of the grid, it would be Monks, aka Passive Zeus, who got onto the leaderboard, but not quite yet with any points. And it would be Haas who took, after 3 consecutive victories, the lead in the Constructors' Championship, 85 to Red Bull 77.